Capcan's aware of that too. They pull themselves around and get the kill as they back themselves. Users pushes pressure into the site at the same time. They're still trying to drive themselves towards getting that kit planted.
Tyrant there just going to be holding the flank through into Coat. Doesn't have the fortune of time. User's going to find himself a second. Tyrant getting traded out there 1-for-1. Users actually is in the site now, and Nello's going to get that plant down, but it's going to be a bit too late. Liquid, they may let this plant go down, but they have the numbers to retake. Parley from those red stairs, going to shut him down.
Either way, they have impact, and they have the knowledge they're not being watched. There's the impact. Oh, they're being watched. Sometimes you're just in the right place, and they get the swing on the bottom of white as well. They went for the double.
You look what's lost on both sides. You've lost users on the sledge, so with it, a couple of nades have gone by the by. Speaking of, Tyrant, he's able to shut Lagonis down. Information now being exchanged. Nello, bit of a hot drop there in, is able to find the kill and the confirm over onto Palu. Ness, all that remains, the plant being threatened as it is likely going to start going down. Tyrant knew exactly where Nesk was hiding out there.
Pretty easy pick up there from the pair of them. That puts that shield under a lot of pressure. Tyrant gets caught by the run out. It's Ask! He's tempted by the fight here onto 90. Solotov's just going to slip his way down white and right into the middle of the freezer. Inside the middle of the site, gets dropped by Resets, who then gets picked up by Users' nade.
No one can go below and do anything significant. So it's going to be down on players pushing on through. Users gets a glimpse. It is going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Users, you've got 19 seconds and a chance here to take a brief advantage in this game. He knows exactly where one is, puts the shots down, lands, needs the second. Can he find it? No, Lagonis, super shorty at close range, is going to be enough.
One of the things I'm also curious about is there's no C4s on the sides of Liquid. They're not going to try and play against the opener, but the fight is going to be flat inside Code. The first is his, the second is to his right. He didn't quite get the full shot. He almost won it out. Lagonis was just tiptoeing on the other side of the bar as well. As the spray comes against, 15 seconds. Nello, you got to try and take the break there. Nesk is able to pop up and get that kit drop. Users gets one back inside the site, but with that wall entirely locked and with no true way to get through on it, they got to just try and hot foot it round onto the opposite side. Users, he's not going to make it in time. He just does. It's a 3 versus 1. Ask just has to make the difference. The impact doesn't quite get the full connection. And MNM just hold on from the top down.
The value is throughout the entirety of the round. Solotov going to come to blows here and find an easy one onto Lagonis, but can now look to try and pre-fire on and to further that advance in through Dining.
15 seconds, and they've got to start trying to break this into the 2 versus 4 advantage that it is in their favor. MNM, Palu, holding off on the edge for the rotate. They're going for the plant on the opposite site, though, and as one of them slips their way through, it's just sit, wait, watch, and get this done. Resets. He's going for the planter, but he's a little bit too late. You can see that via the gadget, but now the only thing you can see is a 3 versus 1 and a rough 36 seconds at the top middle of his screen. And doesn't see that for very long. There's calls, there's trades, there's a bit of motion, and there goes the Nook. Underneath the push and the pressure comes onto the back end. Nafe is able to find Nesk. There it is. Solotov gets the impact as Palu does catch Nafe and at least buys one back, but Solotov still driving underneath, gets Lagonis, the second player, pushes his way up the white stairs with Resets, caught at the end, and MNM
dissipating there as Nath is able to keep himself alive, but only just. The magnets will regenerate over time, but he's not going to be worried about that as he's getting pushed here and caught looking the wrong way. Resets finds one, Nesk a second. Solotov now trying to pick up some pieces, but he too gets caught out. They're going to have to play this one quite close to their chest. Lagonis looks like he's going to be making his way in, gets a glimpse of a player, just rotating on, gets the glimpse of the second and will be able to land. Users, what a shot onto Lagonis, keeps himself alive, but only momentarily. More nades getting sent down through this hatch, but they aren't reaching their mark. Liquid, they are getting so tunnel vision here on dealing with this one player, and now Solotov's made it into the fray. He's activated the glasses and he is ready to strike. Picks himself one. Nesk did trade out onto Nello and will find a second. He's going crazy inside of the site here. There are still 3 members alive here for MNM. Is Nesk going to do a Usus and manage to save this round? Pre-fires on through into Christmas, but he's getting pushed from pillar and post. Nate finds one, Tyrant a second. The plant's going to go down, but it's going to be too late. It will likely be confirmed, but there is more than enough man count here for MNM.
5-3, and they've got themselves a bit of ground here. One apiece. There was an important fight that we didn't truly comment on that was Ask. That was down at Pillar's doorway. That was one out. Nafe, do they know? Yes, is the answer. Nesk gets the swing round, saves the life for Lagonis.
Tyrant needs to be crafty here, and he's one of the better players positionally for my money. He has actually got himself in a really nice off angle here, but he's going to lose the engagement. Resets with the swing there, finds himself yet another, and the plant will start to go down. Solotov, he gets downed in action himself. Users might find himself one here, but he's unlikely to do much more as the final couple of kills come through. Getting ready for a bit of a hop in now, as we can see the player just getting into the top of Lumber there. That player is going to be Nesk. Immediately gets taken out by Tyrant as he finds himself two. Users adds on to the pain before Resets does anything. Lagonis, he's a hot drop and a desperate attempt here as Resets, he's got himself into a real sticky spot. Still a ton of time left here.
That's it. The shots across the bow, they give the statement where he is. Users gets reset down white, and now it's just Lagonis. He's in a bit of a scrappy engagement. There's a rotate coming around behind him towards Cigar, I believe, but it's not necessary. MNM, they are missing some of that control above, but it seems like they might want to direct line themselves closer in. The smoke starts to pop off, the movement behind it. Ness gets Solotov on the first swing. Tyrant under huge pressure, but wins it out. The Flores drone and the Nook themselves cement the kill. Huge dedication towards lifting that player out from the bar side. Jiggling out with Nafe getting asked, puts us into the 3 versus 3. The blinds and the pressure, and suddenly it's MNM! Blinked and missed. MNM!
And we often see at the end of a game or when things aren't really going too well. Talking about things that aren't going too well, Users, you can't just stand in the middle of a doorway, my friend.
You don't really want to turn your back to a fight. It's also awkward to have to backpedal. You still have more to work with. Talking of, there's a lot to work with here. Nello gets Nesk though. Movement, the lock-in, the fight over the side of the bike. Do they truly get it? There's Azami. Can they get one out of this? Surely not, no. Oh, Tyrant.
There is a lot of pressure about to come their way, and this is where the Monty is going to come into its own. Lagonis, he can move forward, gather that information. Solotov not feeling safe in blue as Resets makes his way down those main stairs, and Ask is already kicking things off.
The fight down the main corridor as well leaves just Nello alone. 4 versus 1. They still have pocket utility. They have a shield planting, and they have the watch on any of his way out. And now the read 2. That was only going to be.
That is not something that we expect top-tier teams to be suffering. Nello, he is going to fall as he is taken out by Ask. Ask pays the ultimate price there to remove that ability to bandit trick, but I think one battery does still remain. Nest's going to be able to find one as Lagonis doubles down. Tyrant, he's going to be inside of the site, hopped up on the bed.
Now they actually have a lot, but making things connect is tricky, especially with this. The fight up Paolo on the back stairs, lost because the drop and the rotate there. A great idea from the Azami. He has to wait though. If Solotov goes down, this becomes a disaster. Where's the man? Where's the player? Wrong corner. And now behind the castle, it's a post-plant situation in the smoke. Seconds too late. They've got to see if they can try and at least pinch some of the ground. There's the first, the 2 versus 1. But time ticking away, and Lagonis bringing it back round, aggressively pushes outside the castle that got popped open with Solotov having to make the distance and getting the defuse. It's ring around the rosies, but it's not a game anyone wants to play. There's the swing, there's the take, and they will have enough time to get the kit in a first round. It's still possible, it's of course still doable, but it's made difficult. More so because Users is here to offer some support. There goes Tyrant. They're suddenly going everybody. They're inside the site. Ness just charged in through the open breach. Just missed out on the next fight coming over the top. Pre-fires the door on the far end. A 2 versus 3 out of absolutely nowhere. Nate finds one more back. The kid has slinked its way behind the CC stack inside the site.
Zas tries to find himself onto an elevated position. He knows that the pressure is going to be coming in from below. Now going to start to try and get this plant down, and Solotov, he can't see it for some reason. The plant has been allowed to go down. Both players are downstairs, and Ask's been allowed to relocate. He's got himself outside. This is quite a serious retake that MNM have to pull off now. They might have a numbers advantage, but they're going to go up against Ask, and he's already shut Solotov down. You can't afford to peek him one at a time. Nath, he's located the kit, and he's going to go for a disable, but he maybe doesn't have the full amount of time. Is he going to bait it? Is he going to switch it? Going to swing on through? Nath fires the shot. No whiff in here. Those Kiba barricades just providing a little bit of cover front and back. Starting to see a push down now as Nest makes his way in. Resets, he's going to be a long corridor, but MNM, they are resisting. Nathan Nello, what a piece. Downed in process. Resets and Lagonis, they've got a lot to do here. Lagonis, of course, has the kit, but he's in no position to get that thing down. Equal 2 versus 2 now as Lagonis finishes off Tyrant. Users, no Toxic Babe canisters left and the plant going down. Conscious of the player inside of blue, picks one, gets the down. Lagonis off the kit, grabs himself one, swings, pre-fire, maybe gets the kill. No, Users! He was tucking himself into that corner, melting away into the wall.
Somebody has dropped down underneath to try and start rotating the stairs. Obviously, Palu was looking for the fight at first, but with these grenades, actually, oh, someone else has dropped down. Nafe, you don't have those grenades from underneath. You have neither of the pushes and pressures. There's a cut on the window. Tyrant and Nafe with one apiece, one more. One bit of health, resets. He's inside the site, but without the kit. And at what cost? He's just looking for the end. 4 rounds in a row for MNM. The longer you take, the more you hold your minerals to sit around in a position of danger, the more likely you can do things like this. Solotov just got down on the way back in. The C4 on the pop. Nella with an important fight underneath, wins it out, and Ask is gone as well. It's a technical 3 versus 2, but users can get Solotov back up.
The plant is going to be going down. Solotov from below. Is he going to get the read? He didn't last time, but he maybe doesn't now. Users, he's going to push all the way through. No defuse planted, but Users, he's 1 versus 2 here. The kit is going to be cold on the ground.
The impact came through underneath. The impact is hitting the hammer up top as well. Resets. He's got to try and edge and eke this fight out. He knows they are close. They know where the kid is. They know they've got to try and get it landed. The flash on one side. The fight is on the other. And he might not have been able to get the first out the door, but he's sure to close it at the end of the round.
I'm the fucking solid gold.
If Liquid cannot find at least something from this showdown, that is a very dangerous prospect for what are tournament favorites. The first is Solotov's.
Nest does still have a battery, but isn't really in position, especially with Solotov on this backstab.
Do they know about Solotov? There's a bit of a jiggle peek and a shoulder. The swing through, and Solotov executes Palu. Looks for the fight on the top of red. There's pressure coming from pit underneath. Nesk is able to win out an important first. There's a bit of a rotation coming around behind the player. Tyrant just goes for the hop in. He's looking for an engagement. He's hoping he can catch someone by surprise, and he does. Suddenly inside the site, looks for the second follow-up. Ask is deep underneath. They're still having these huge engagements, and I said the site, oh wait, everything is happening down in the basement, regardless of where everybody else is. This is where the kit needs to end up, and Tyrant is going to end up locked out as well.
Tyrant just dancing around him for the time being. So I don't think that anyone is really aware of the either's position. The drone comes through, Tyrant's slow, and, well, Palu's even slower, picks him off there.
But now 15 seconds. How are they going to get the kit from Nello into the site itself? Not that way, at least. Definitely not. There's Users. There's a drop inside logistics as well. They're having to beeline themselves straight to the site. Another 2 versus 1. Does not go the way of MNM either. Human's going to swing to his direction sooner rather than later. Tyrant suffers a smoke. They're pushed back off the site. Nest gets Users as Tyrant's inside. He's looking for the edge and the swing on it. There's the fight onto the first. Looking for the sliver on the second. There it is. Tyrant either side. Another smoke though, and they're forced back off. They are inside, apart from Nello, who has the kit and is an important player because he's got to go past the no man's land. Tyrant.
No C4 left from Palu means that any sort of vertical destruction is going to be very difficult indeed, but it might not come to that. Resets, he shuts Nello down as the kit was collected. 15 seconds, needs to try and go for kills. The barbed wire here going to definitely give him away, and you can already see the Liquid players retreating quite rightly. There isn't enough time to do all too much here. Tyrant, he's likely going to save KD, but Liquid, they're going to chalk another round on the board.
But look at the kit on the far end. They want to. They're itching to take Kitchen. Solotov takes the head. The pings are consistent. Palu gets Tyrant on the back. Nafe is in with the kit. Gonna see if he can maybe stick it. The spray's over the top. The connection with a couple more players. And MNM, once again, have started to be torn apart. There's the swing onto the first player. There's the push either side. The coverage goes. As there's another round.
It was the biggest roamer, the biggest point of vulnerability, and now he is still alive when it is going to matter the most. Resets, shuts Users down further in the pain here. Tyrant is going to be able to respond, finding one. Nello, a second. A brief flick of him on the scoreboards. Tyrant picks up his second. Ask, there's no one out there on Jacuzzi Balcony, my friend. They are getting the kit nailed to the floor. As we see Ask eventually wakes up and smells the coffee. Nath, a plant and a kill.
But he is drawing a lot of attention. But so are they. There's Nafe, just misses out on a firefight. There is somebody on his back end, and there it is, resets. Tyrant, hoping that the player pushes on further. They've obviously got some intel on it. They're going to lean into the fight. Just tucked them in. Tyrant hoping he gets the second. There's the shield play that Ness can stack behind.
Big problem here is going to be Garage. Nello still hasn't made any progress here onto Ask, and time is seriously ticking here for him. Ask is going to start to get pressured now, left and right, but his keeper barricades are going to do a little bit of business to keep him alive. Palu, he takes Users down. Ask finds a great deagle onto Tyrant. Nello, you may have downed Ask, but let's be real, you've got a pistol, you've got a shield, and you've got 7 seconds. You've got no chance
So this, the slight changes, they drop onto Moto on the far end, might be the difference maker. They've put them into a lot of pressure, and now they can try and apply it from just two different sides. But Nesk, well, he's fine under pressure and uses Cooks the first. There's a swing round, gets the down, gets the devastation, and gets themselves inside sight with the kit. The first time this has happened with any time to work on. Palu gets one back. The swing round pipes is important, and it's Nello for the double when they need it most. Palu, all that's left, and gets one more for his tally for this round. They cannot really get out of there. They know a route. He's probably going to watch it. Nafis 2. MNM do what seemed impossible and take an attack down a church. I'm excited to see how it goes. Full gear into Moto in the first win. He's in the side of Liquid. They're swinging wider and wider to try and find the next. As Ask suffers down the corridor itself. Resets. He's tucked in. There's one. There's two. Users with the double. Solotov on the back end. And suddenly Ask and Palu have everything to do. The only breach that they've got. Creeping their way through. Pre-firing the angle. Support is coming from the side of blue. They're not giving anything. We got a pocket full of seconds. But what we do have is an MNM almost on the teetering edge. 2 versus 2 in a plant situation. Palu doing everything he can to try and hold on to the position. Ask gets the plant. Ask gets dropped. MNM get another 4 points. 2 maps. Scream to the top of the leaderboard, and Liquid, for all the fight that they had, leave with nothing.